Our Prem Namaste to our viewers. I am Nirvikant Bandhu.
And I am Sarisha Bandhu.
We are your presenters for today's DEEPAVALI celebration.
This DEEPAVALI, we are celebrating new beginnings. In Dharma, the kindling of light symbolizes a new dawn, a new awakening, and a new breath of life. We ask the President of Arya Samaj South Africa, Pandit Arti Shanand, together with Pandit Leela Benamado, the chairperson of the Vedic Purohit Mandir, and our young members to light the lamps and usher in Diwali 2021.
Thereafter, Pandits Shanand and Beni Madhav will lead us into the spiritual havan joined by our youth. Sadhna Ram class, Nabil Hamid, members of the Arya Youth League, Divya Ram class, member of Avoca Cultural Society, and Sharon Naidu, member of Sri Ramayan Sabha.
Namaste everybody. Welcome to our Diwali Havan for 2021. Having gone through a very torrid time in the last few months and the year, let us all pray together for a brighter and better future. The theme of this Diwali Havan and program is New Beginnings. So with that in mind, let us pray that from this day onward, we will all look forward to new beginnings in our home and in our surroundings, as well as our work and our studies. We shall begin by reciting Om 3 times, followed by the Gayatri Mantra and the Ishwarupasana.
तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्।
Ishwarupasana.
ॐ विश्वानि देव सवितर्दुरितानि परआसुवा यद्भद्रं तन्न आसुवा। ॐ हिरण्यगर्भ समवर्तताग्रे भूतस्य जातः पतिरेक आसीत् सदाधार पृथिवीं द्याम् उत्तीमां कस्मै देवाय हविषा विधेम। ॐ य आत्मदा बलदायस्य विश्व उपासते प्रशिशं यस्य देवः यस्य छाया अमृतं यस्य मृत्युः कस्मै देवाय हविषा विधेम। ॐ य प्राणतो निमिषतो महित्वैक इदराजा जगतो बभूव या ईशे अस्य द्विपदश्चतुष्पदः कस्मै देवाय हविषा विधेम। ॐ ये नद्योरुग्र पृथिवी चादृढ येन स्वाष्टभितं येन नाकः यो अन्तरिक्षे रजसो विमानः कस्मै देवाय हविषा विधेम ॐ प्रजापते न त्वदितान्यन्यो विश्वा जातानि परिता बभूव यत्काम आस्ते जुहुमस्तनो अस्तु वयं स्याम पतयोरयीनाम् ॐ सानो बन्धुर्जनिता साविधाता धामानि वेद भुवनानि विश्वा यत्र देवा अमृतमानशाना स्थितिये धामन् अध्येरयन्ता ॐ अग्नेनय सुपथारा ये अस्मान् विश्वानि देववयुनानि विद्वान् युयोध्यस्मज्जुहुरानवेनो भूयिष्ठान्ते नम उक्तिं विधेम.
We will now begin with Havan. Archman, please take water in your right palms. Om Amrito Pasranamasi Swaha. Om Amrita Pidhanamasi Swaha. Om Satyam Yashaha Shrirmayi Shrihi Shrayatam Swaha. Rinse your palms, take water in your left. Om Vangama Asyestu. Om Nasor me Prano Astu. Om Akshnor me Chakshurastu. Om Karnayor me Shrotamastu. Om Bahavor me Balamastu. Om Urvorma Ojo Astu. Om Arishtani me Angani Tanustanvame Sahasantu. Om Bhur Swaha. Om Bhur Swardyaviva Bhumna Prithiviva Varimna Tasyaste Prithivi Devayajani Prishthe Agnim Anadam Anadyayadade. Om Udbudhya Swagne Pratijagrihi
त्वमिष्टापूर्ते संसृजे धामयञ्च अस्मिन् सदस्ते अध्युतरस्मिन् विश्वे देवा यजमानश्च सीदता ॐ अयन्त इत्मा आत्मा जातवेदस्ते नेध्यस्व वर्धस्व चेतवर्धय चास्मान् प्रजया पशुभिर्ब्रह्मा वर्चसेन आना येन समेधय स्वाहा इदम् अग्नये जातवेदसे इदं मम ॐ समिधा अग्निं दुवस्यता घृते बोधयता तिथिम् अस्मिन् हव्याजुहोतना ॐ सुसमिधाय शोचिषे घृतं तीव्रं जुहोतना अग्नये जातवेदसे स्वाहा इदम् अग्नये जातवेदसे इदं मम ॐ तन्त्वा समिधि अङ्गिरो घृतेन वर्धयामसि बृहशोछाय विश्च स्वाहा इदम् अग्नये अङ्गिरसे इदं मम ॐ अयन्त इद्मा आत्मा जातवेदस्ते नेत्यस्व वर्धस्व चेतवर्धय चास्मान् प्रजया पशुभिर्ब्रह्मा वर्चसेन आनादेन समेधय स्वाहा इदम् अग्नये जातवेदसे इदं मम ॐ अयन्त इद्मा आत्मा जातवेदस्ते नेध्यस्व वर्धस्व चेतवर्धय चास्मान् प्रजया पशुभिर्ब्रह्मा वर्चसेन आनादेन समेधय स्वाहा इदम् अग्नये जातवेदसे इदं मम ॐ अयन्त इद्मा आत्मा जातवेदस्ते नेत्यस्व वर्धस्व चेतवर्धय चास्मान् प्रजया पशुभिर्ब्रह्मा वर्चसेन आनादेन समेधय स्वाहा इदम् अग्नये जातवेदसे इदं मम ॐ अयन्त इद्मा आत्मा जातवेदस्ते नेत्यस्व वर्धस्व चेतवर्धय चास्मान् प्रजया पशुभिर्ब्रह्मा वर्चसेन आनादेन समेधय स्वाहा इदम् अग्नये जातवेदसे इदं मम ॐ अयन्त इद्मा आत्मा जातवेदस्ते नेत्यस्व वर्धस्व चेतवर्धय चास्मान् प्रजया पशुभिर्ब्रह्मा वर्चसेन आनादेन समेधय स्वाहा इदम् अग्नये जातवेदसे इदं मम जल सिंचन first in the east. Om Aditenu Manyaswa in the west. Om Anumatenu Manyaswa. Om
Saraswatya Numanya Swaha. Outside the house. Deva Savita Prasuvaya outside the house. Vayaja Patimraya Divyo Gandharvahate Tapu Ketannaha Punatu Vachaspatir Vachannaha Swadatu. Om Agnaye Swaha Idam Agnaye Idannamama. Om Somaya Swaha Idam Somaya Idannamama. Om Prajapataye Swaha Idam Prajapataye Idannamama. Om Indraya Swaha Idam Indraya Idannamama. Om Bhur Agnaye Swaha Idam Agnaye Idannamama. Om Bhuvarvayave Swaha Idam Vayave Idannamama. Om Swar Adityaya Swaha Idam Adityaya Idannamama. Om Bhurbhuva Swaragni Vayava Adityabhyaha Swaha Idam Agni Vayava Adityabhya Idannamama. Swishtakrit. Om Yadasya Karmanotyaricham Yadvanyonamihakaram Agnistat Swishtakrit Vidyat Sarvam Swishtam Suhutam Karotu Me. Agnaye Swishtakrite Suhuta Hote Sarva Prayaschita Hotinam Kamanam Samardhayitre Sarvanaha Kaman Samardhaya Swaha. Idam Agnaye Swishtakrite Idannamama. Om Swaha Idam Prajapataye Idannamama. Om Bhurbhuvaswaha Agna Ayunshi Pavasa Asuvorjamisham Chanaha Are Badhaswa Duchunam Swaha. Idam Agnaye Pamanaya Idannamama. Om Bhurbhuvaswaha Agni Rishihi Pavamanaha Panchajanyaha Purohitaha Tamimahe Mahagayam Swaha. Idam Agnaye Pamanaya Idannamama. Om Bhurbhuvaswaha Agne Pavaswa Swapa Asme Vachaha Suviryam Dadhadrayim Mayi Posham Swaha. Idam Agnaye Pamanaya Idannamama. Om Bhurbhuvaswaha Prajapatina Tvad Etanyanyo Vishwajatani Parita Babhuva. Yatkam Aste Juhum Astano Astu Vayam Syama Patayorainam Swaha. idam prajapataye idam mama. Om Suryo Jyotir Jyotihi Surya Swaha. Om Suryo Varcho Jyotir Varchaha Swaha. Om Jyotihi Surya Suryo Jyoti Swaha. Om Sajor Devena Savitra Sajor Ushasendra Joshanaha Suryo Vetu Swaha. Om Agnir Jyotir Jyotir Agni Swaha. Om Agnir Varcho Jyotir Varchaha Swaha. Om Swaha. Om Sajor Devena Savitra Sajoratrendra Joshano Agnirvetu Swaha. Om Bhur Agnaye Pranaya Swaha. Idam Agnaye Pranaya Idam Mama. Om Bhuvarvaya Ve Apanaya Swaha. Idam Vaya Ve Apanaya Idam Mama. Om Swar Adityaya Vyanaya Swaha. Idam Adityaya Vyanaya Idam Mama. Om Bhurбhuva Swar Agni Vayava Adityabhyaha Prana Apana Vyanebhya Swaha. Idam Agni Vayava Adityabhyaha Prana Apana Vyanebhya Idam Mama. Om Apo Jyotiraso Amritam Brahma Bhurбhuva Swarom Swaha. Om Yamedham Devagana Pitaraschopasate Tayama Madhya Medhaya Agne Medhavinam Kuru Swaha. Om Vishwani Deva Savitar Duritani Parasuva Yabhadran Tanna Asuva Swaha. Om Agnena Yasupathara Ye Asman Vishwani Deva Vayunani Vidwan Yoyodyasmachuhu Pranamenu Bhoyashtante Nama Uktim Vidhema Swaha. Om Bhurбhuva Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat Swaha. Om Bhurбhuva Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat स्वाहा ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् स्वाहा. Let us rise. Take your samogram. Take your samogram. Om Sarvam Vay Purnam Swaha. Om Sarvam Vay Purnam Swaha. Om Sarvam Vay Purnam Swaha. Put it up. Om Vasoh Pavitram Asi Shatadharam Vasoh Pavitram Asi Sahasradharam Devastva Savita Punatu Vasoh Pavitrena Shatadharena Supva Kamadhukshaha.
Saisha, what did you think of the Havan recital?
That was absolutely spiritually uplifting and such a wonderful start to today's program.
To welcome you on behalf of the Samaj, we now have the pleasure to introduce Mr. Divyesh Kasiram. He is the director of the HEAL Foundation, Humanitarian, Environmental and Animal Liberation wing of the Arya Samaj. Divyesh Kasiram is also the Joint Secretary of APS.
Namaste and a warm welcome to our revered Swamijis, officials of the Arya Samaj, and to all our viewers joining us for this special Deepavali program. The Samaj is blessed to see 96 years of a rich history with many accomplishments that have transformed the lives of thousands of people. In the true spirit of Deepavali, the essence of creating new beginnings lies in the upliftment and transformation of humanity. As a result, the Samaj has embarked on numerous community-based initiatives. Through our dynamic standing committees, we have provided online workshops, medical services, propagation of our Dharma through a series of examinations, and the training of Vedic priests as ambassadors of our community. Not to mention the number of Seva-based initiatives to assist individuals suffering through poverty and helplessness. The journey of transformation is continuous, both as an organization as well as individually. Change is constant, and our ability to adjust to that change is paramount to our outlook in life. We did not expect the turmoil of the past few years, yet it came before us. We are now seeing a few rays of hope to provide us with peace and comfort. Our speakers in today's program will provide informative suggestions in dealing with loss and how families can move forward in these types of situations. With this year's theme of creating new beginnings, we must celebrate with the spirit of unity. Let the light of this Deepavali reignite your inner spirit with renewed vigor, courage and determination to overcome all the challenges that you may face. It is only through this concerted effort that we will be able to live the message of light over darkness. We must appreciate every moment, especially the time we have with our family and friends. This is precious and should never be taken for granted. We have a feast of items lined up in today's program, and we are confident that you will enjoy the brilliant performances by all the participants. Deepavali is a symbol of hope for humankind. May this year's celebration bring universal compassion, inner joy of peace, love and awareness of unity to all. Happy Deepavali, and may all be blessed.
The Sannyasa Spiritual Council of South Africa was recently formed to unite all revered Swamis in South Africa, initiates of the highest order of Hinduism, under one banner for the purpose of uniting Hindus in South Africa. This evening, 6 of our revered Swamis will give us a special message on 6 fundamental values of Hinduism. It gives me great pleasure to welcome Pujya Swami Ram Kripanand to bless us with his expression of peace.
In the Ramayana, we've learned that the Lord was always peaceful. Here in our material world, we are affected by everything. Every little thing affects us. But in the Ramayana, we learn that the Lord goes through all these obstacles, all his pain and sorrow, and with one balanced mind. If something happens, he offers it to faith. When he have to go into the forest for 14 years, he says to Lakshmana, this is our fate. Let us go to the forest. But Lakshmana was affected by it, but the Lord himself was not affected. And if we can learn from the Ramayana that everything happens for a reason, and if everything happens for a reason, then we shouldn't be affected by anything. If anything good comes, we must be happy. If anything bad comes, also we must be happy. And when we find that peace, we will be always smiling, always happy, and always willing to give advice to the other person. So peace is the most important thing. We need to find it within ourselves to be accepting to every little thing that happens around us.
Thank you, Swamiji, for teaching us the value of peace.
Now let's hear a beautiful rendition of a bhajan performed by Dr. Veena Lakshman and her brother Rajesh Lakshman. Dr. Veena Lakshman and Rajesh Lakshman are media personalities. This sibling duo have been involved in music from a very young age. Their initial tuition came from their father Guru Lakshman Ganpat. Thereafter, Veena continued her studies in India, and Rajesh was adopted as the student of Ustad Ismail Kasam Thai, who was instrumental as a mentor in both their lives. The sibling duo performed at many events. One of their highlights was performing at the reception party of Bharat Ratna Anup Jalota and Amitabh Bachchan. Veena currently has 2 CDs at her credit. Wow, this is impressive. The song Shabdo Ke Jungle essentially speaks about how not to get caught up in this world of words, as each of us is a part of the divine, and at the end of the day, that is all that matters.
शब्दों के जंगल में तू क्यों फंसा है रे, पर ब्रह्म के रस्ते में तेरा नस नस रवा है रे। आनंद तू ही परमानंद तू ही, आनंद तू ही परमानंद तू ही। ओम में खोकर, ओम में रंग कर, ओम में न्यारा है। शब्दों
Nirikar, I'm sure you can agree that the COVID-19 pandemic has affected us all, whether in South Africa or even throughout the globe. What do you think about this?
Bilkul, Sarisha. I completely agree with what you're saying. What initiatives are out there for youth like you and I in order to combat these challenges?
What a wonderful question. And to answer that question, we have Shruti Daulat. She is a 22-year-old postgraduate student at the University of Cape Town, who has recently completed her undergraduate degree at the same university, majoring in accounting. Shruti is extremely passionate about startups and more specifically student-led startups. Her win at UCT Shark Tank has given her the exciting opportunity to co-found her own startup. Shruti's involvement in the Arya Samaj Women's Foundation speaks towards her unwavering passion for putting women on the map, as well as the power in collaboration.
Prem Namaste to one and all. It is such an honor to address you on this auspicious occasion of Diwali. My name is Shruti Daulat. In a year that felt more unprecedented than any before, the youth of our country are faced with immense challenges due to COVID-19, as well as an ongoing increase in unemployment. This has led to an array of situations due to people being unable to change the external circumstances. With that being said, today I am here to speak to you all about how initiative, oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna start the paragraph again. In a year that
Nirikar,
Prem Namaste to one and all. It is such an honor to address you on. This has led to an array of situations due to people being unable to change the external circumstances. With that being said, today I am here to speak to you all about the initiatives that youth can take to create opportunities for themselves on the ladder of success. How can our youth take responsibility? You cannot think about initiatives and opportunities without first thinking of success. So what is success and how do we define it? There's technically no official textbook definition, but simply put, success is the state or condition of meeting a defined range of expectations. Success is something that is so personal and different for every individual. It is measured by our personal metrics and the goals that we set for ourselves. Success is not necessarily having the biggest bank balance or the highest position in a firm. It is the ability to always give of your best, and it's about how you make a difference in other people's lives. Before we think about initiatives and opportunities, we need to visualize success for ourselves. We must create a vision of success that aligns with our values and our goals. This finally brings us to the question of what initiatives we can take to move towards our metrics of success. The first initiative that I want to talk about today speaks to the idea of the edge factor. Essentially, this means what gives you your edge, what differentiates you from everybody else applying for that position. Franklin Roosevelt once said that we cannot always build a future for our youth, but we can build our youth for the future. And given the context of our generation, I cannot think of a more fitting statement. In a world that is constantly evolving and changing, the opportunities that we have access to today give our generation a never-seen-before advantage. There are an array of jobs that exist today that didn't exist 20 or even 10 years ago. With technology and social media on the rise, we have the opportunity to grow our skill set without leaving home. One of the greatest initiatives that you can take to move yourself up the ladder of success is to invest in yourself. What I'm talking about here is possessing the attribute of being a lifelong learner. Learning doesn't start when you walk into a classroom, and it definitely does not stop when you leave that classroom. In fact, it's everything that happens out of the classroom that gives you your edge. Pinpoint your interests, whether it's coding or designing or anything really. Just ask Google for a free online course on the topic, and I guarantee you, you will not be disappointed. Major universities like UCT, Harvard, and Yale offer free courses, so take the opportunity. Take every online course that intrigues you, research jobs that align with your skill sets and your interests. With unemployment on the rise, you need to emphasize your skill sets that make you different to the person next to you. By going the extra mile and doing courses that enhance your skill sets and strengthen your weaknesses, you are automatically giving yourself that edge. Another initiative that I want to highlight today is one that is so close to my heart, and that is, of course, entrepreneurship, but more specifically, student entrepreneurship. There's this misconception among the youth that you need to be older and you need to be more established to start your own business. And I think that that is why so many people delay their dreams, because they say it will happen one day. The biggest piece of advice that I would give any aspiring student entrepreneur is to take a leap of faith and begin. I firmly believe that you will never regret an experience if you learn from it. Reach out to people who inspire you and ask them for internships. Ask them for opportunities to learn from them. You'll never know if you never ask. Please don't be scared of reaching out to people. Worst case scenario, they'll say no, but have you really lost anything in the process? No. I promise you, you will be surprised by how many professionals are willing to help somebody who is there to learn. Today, I would like to close with a quote from the Atharva Veda, and it says, "Do not be led by others, awaken your own mind, amass your own experience, and decide for yourself your own path." To the youth who are listening to me today, I'd like to encourage you all to take every opportunity and to make every opportunity. When a door closes on you, go through the window, invest in yourself, stay true to yourself, and you'll climb every ladder. Thank you for listening to me today, everybody. Shubh Diwali.
Thank you for that, Shruti. You have definitely answered Nirvikar's question. Nirvikar, can you tell us what is next on our program?
Well, we have an exciting dance item by Vidwan Niveshan Munsami. Niveshan Munsami is born in a family steeped into culture. His great-great-grandparents T.M. Bakyam Pillai and great-grandparents A.N. Mari Pillai were doyens in the field of music, dance and drama in South Africa. At the tender age of just 4, he was initiated into music and dance by his parents Colin and Kanta Ruby Munsami. He was chosen as South Africa's child star on television together with his brother Niveshan. Niveshan joined the Bharata Swara Institute under Sri Magendran Balakistan for music and Bharatanatyam with his sister, a Kalakshetra alumni, Chennai. He also studied Kathak dance at the Kala Darshan Institute of Fine Arts under the guidance of Sri Manesh Maharaj. Niveshan wishes to educate himself with the advanced studies of Kuchipudi dance so that he can add to the upliftment, promotion and propagation of his art form in South Africa and around the world. Niveshan's dream has been realized through his wonderful parents and gurus, whom is most grateful. For those who wish to know more, feel free to contact the APS office. I now have the honor in introducing Puja Swami Vedanand Saraswati, Sannyasi of the Sannyasa Spiritual Council of South Africa, who will enlighten us with the expression of unity.
My dearest embodiments of peace and love, as humanity, we are at a crossroad. Our direction has led us not only astray from God and astray from our values, but astray from each other. Hate, discrimination, racism, the list goes on. But the Atharva Veda, Book 7, Chapter 53, verse 2 says ever so strongly, with equanimity of mind and soul, let us know and be together in harmony, being knowledgeable with divine minds and souls in unanimity. Let us never disagree, never part, never divide, even when mighty, deadly occasions arise. Let no voices of dissent and division ever arise. But how? How to achieve such an ideal of unity? Rig Veda, Book 10, Chapter 192, verse 2 answers by stating, unity can only come when there is better coordination and mutual understanding in society. When there is no friction of thoughts and clash of ideologies, we should therefore follow the ideals established by Dharma and engage ourselves in virtuous deeds. A good and righteous human being, my friends, accepts, loves, and works with all people without any discrimination, regardless of race, caste, or creed. And this is motivated by Yajurveda, chapter 30, verse 22. It is time that we unite as one family and live the proud values of Hinduism, having full confidence in faith and dharma. We hold dear to our hearts, and our youth are the key to finally uniting us, because they don't see linguistic or traditional or cultural barriers. They see one Sanatana Dharma for all humanity. This Diwali, let unity be our prayer. With all the love, light, and peace of my heart, Namaste, and have a truly blessed Diwali.
Thank you, Puja Swamiji. This teaches us the essence of Vasudeva Kutumbakam. Sarisha, now that we have been given the tools by Shruti Dola, let's not forget about our families. How can our families now escape from the necessary challenges, difficulties, hardships, and losses which they've experienced within the past 2 years in order to move forward?
That is quite a good question there, Nirvigar. And to answer your question, we have a conversation between Ms. Mikara Maharaj and Ms. Shiksha Benamado. Mikara schooled at Northland Girls High School and later in 2016 went on to study a Bachelor of Science with 2 majors, Industrial Psychology and Industrial Organizational Labor Studies. She graduated in 2018, later with her BCom Honours degree. She is currently working as a financial advisor at Old Mutual and a volunteer at the South African Hindu Mahasabha, as well as the HEAL Foundation, specifically the Animal Liberation Team. Ms. Shiksha Benamado serves as a deputy chair for the HEAL Foundation, as well as a board member for the advice desk for the abused. She has been working in the community development for the last 20 years in both a professional and personality capacity. Shiksha is the head of talent and new skilling for the Global Management Consulting Company in South Africa, and her forte being the intersection of business transformation and people development. To describe Shiksha the best possible way, she is a servant leader with an activist heart.
Namaste, my name is Mikar Maharaj and welcome to our viewers. This Diwali, we are taking a look at new beginnings, how to create them and how to embrace them. In the discussion today, we will be looking at how to turn challenges into prospects as families embrace the new norms and learn how to forge a way forward. With this in mind, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you to Shiksha Benamado. Shiksha ji has been working within community development for 20 years and is currently serves on the board for the advice desk for the abused and the HEAL Foundation. Professionally, she is the head of talent transformation and new skilling within talent and organization and human potential at Accenture. Namaste Shiksha and welcome.
Namaste Mikara. It's an absolute pleasure to be here.
It's so good to have you with us. I'm going to dive straight into my first question. Shiksha ji, we have all been through a lot over these past few years. People have lost loved ones. We've had a change in working environment, and there has been the rioting, the looting, all the while dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic. It has surely been a lot for us all, and the future now seems very uncertain. From your years of experience in wellness, how does one look for a way forward and keep going through these seemingly uncertain times? With it being Diwali, how do we cultivate new habits and vision to embrace new beginnings that keep us in mental balance and wellness?
Yeah, I think that's a very good question, Mikara. I think the last 2 years has really created a dynamic shift. We were always just busy in our lives. It was a rat race, and then the pandemic happened. And with the pandemic, it provided an opportunity for people to face themselves, face realities. They had to grieve loved ones, like you said, and it has been very, very difficult for people. So I think the important thing about it is, understanding when you are not well, to know that it's okay to not be okay. And that's really the important thing, I think, when you say you are not okay, what are some of the tools and tips you can use to create that type of balance in your life? And the important thing about it is, with it being Diwali, how do you ensure that these habits are regularly done so it really does become a habit, So that's very the interesting thing about it, creating that wellness, creating that harmony in life. And, some of the tools and tips that I've used in the last 2 years is really about, one, journaling. I think, writing down your thoughts are so essential because you have an opportunity to reflect on them, So journaling is one way that really helps me just let go of my thoughts without anybody judging me, because it's my thoughts. The second thing, which I absolutely love, is when I'm feeling a bit low, it's really about listening to some type of music, whether it's religious music. I love motivational videos. I love podcasts. Those are things that really keep me upbeat, And some of the things that, most companies have wellness programs. And if you leverage off your wellness programs, I know there's psychologists and wellness coaches at hand that will be able to provide you with support. I think you can overcome any type of challenge that you have if you really do have the right support. And I think wellness programs really do help with that, The Arya Samaj also has qualified priests on hand that can assist you with spiritual guidance should you need help. And there's a fantastic organization called SADAC, the South African Anxiety and Depression Group, and they really have some fantastic programs on site. So if you go and Google them, you'll be able to have a chance to see what's really out there for them, And one of the things that really helped me in the last 2 years is finding something that I'm really passionate about. It's volunteering at an NGO, or helping out at any type of soup kitchen, or whether it was like peeling potatoes or cleaning beans or whatever it is. It's something that really did help me pass the time. And I think that's what people need to do, find ways to pass the time as the pandemic comes to a close. I think taking on any one of these tools and tips will really help you create that balance, and interestingly enough, Albert Einstein says, life is like a bicycle. To keep the balance, you got to keep on moving. So that's my tips on how to keep mental health during these times.
Shiksha, I love that you said it is okay to not be okay. I think that is a concept many people, including myself, struggle to deal with. Thank you for your professional guidelines on how to forge healthy habits. Now, the Ramayana speaks about Lord Rama's leadership as humble, modest, participative, leading from the front with clarity in vision. After all, he is called Maryada Purushottam, the one who embodies the highest value. As a professional individual in management, how has the world shifted for leaders, and what type of leadership style is now required in today's world?
The new world deeply affirms the need for a new leadership style. And, when you look at emotional intelligence and social intelligence, bringing those two types of intelligence together really does formulate a type of leadership that shows consciousness, a sense of being able to be very aware of yourself and aware of your team members. I think, as most psychologists actually say, and neuroscientists actually say, that the notion of work-life balance being separate lives is it's quite blurred. I don't think any person can leave their personal problems at home and come to work and just work and then go home and sort out their problems. It doesn't work that way, because people are whole. And when they come into work, they really generally, it's about their emotions. And I think it's very important for us to be able to, as a leader, be able to acknowledge that. And COVID-19 really did demonstrate that, where people were working from home and the integration was there. So now that type of leadership really does need to acknowledge that, and how do we actually deal with that as leaders? As Professor Tuli Madansela makes a very, very impactful statement, and she says, it's not about when people speak, it's not about what they say. It's really about what they are not saying. And I think as leaders, we have to be able to acknowledge what people are not saying. I think in the world today, our team members really want to feel a deep sense of care, respected, a deep sense of appreciation, and recognition for the work, and I think that's quite interesting to see the dynamic changing once again. People really want to understand before they're being given a task that their leader really understands what they're going through once again, both personally and professionally. Leadership is really about effective communication, and once again it's about the language and the words you use in order to communicate with your team members, and how you say it to them, acknowledging the work that they already have before prioritizing your own work is quite important. Speaking with respect, not shouting at them or providing that authority. It's really about a collaborative authority. Gone are the days where there's a master-slave relationship. Everything about leadership right now is very much bottom-up and collaborative. You've got to be able to move your team forward with a sense of shared values. And I think that's quite important. And I think as a leader, you'll be able to see your inadequate leadership, and you'll see it, and some of the indicators is really how many people are leaving your team, how often they get sick, If they do have illnesses, how does that affect their work lives? Those are indicators where you have to be able to reflect, and you've got to change. And leadership is really about that: learning, adapting, moving with a shared value. I always believe that when you are given the power, you have to use it wisely. And like you said earlier, Lord Ram, even when he needed to go and save Sita, it was very much about leading forward, leading from the front, being a team player, mentoring. Those are some of the qualities that you really have to imbibe as a leader. And like I said in the beginning, this is really the time for us to have that type of leadership style, because I think very quickly our team members are not going to tolerate any other type of leadership. And that's why we have to be able to learn, adapt, keep moving forward, have a shared value with a common purpose, and being very conscious and aware of who you are and who your team members are. So, Mikara, I have a question for you.
Okay.
So, as an experienced youth leader, what type of advice, or any advice you can relay to the youth to be able to take on this new world? With it being Diwali once again, how do they create these new beginnings?
Thank you for your question. I think an important point to consider is we need to learn to embrace change, and it's building on what you said earlier. These past few years have taught us that change is unpredictable, it's inevitable. We must learn to be adaptable, and we need to constantly upskill ourselves in order to remain relevant. I think the youth already have been doing a fantastic job at adapting to the new beginnings. For example, the work from home concept. The youth have taken very well to this, but the older generation has taken a little bit longer to get used to it. Another thing to consider is social media has played a prominent role recently, and I think it's important to manage this interaction. As human beings, we tend to get swept up in trends, both positive and negative. Mental health awareness has been a well-conversed topic since the pandemic started, and I definitely feel that taking care of your mental health will give you the ability to adapt to our ever-changing world, as well as to give you the strength to cope with any obstacle that arises. So, as I mentioned earlier, the youth have been doing a fantastic job coping with the new change. And I think that my advice to the youth would be to embrace these opportunities and appeal for more responsibilities in the new way of life. Where just ask for those responsibilities, whether it be in your career, in your communities, or in your personal life. South Africa is hungry for strong leaders, and I think this is the perfect opportunity for the youth to step up and take their role in leadership positions, because those positions were reserved for individuals who are not as capable of coping with the new way of the world. During this Diwali, I think it's important that we celebrate our accomplishments and we feel proud of the daily challenges that we continue to overcome.
That is really, really impactful statements and bold statements for youth. And I really want to thank you for being able to provide youth with that platform to give this type of advice.
Thank you so much for asking me the question and for seeking my input in the discussion, and I hope I answered it to your liking. I also want to thank you for engaging in this discussion with me. I think your guidelines and your insight has been very helpful, and I'm positive that our viewers will find immense value as well. Diwali is about celebrating new beginnings. So to everyone who has lost a loved one, had to have the stress of changing their working environment, or been affected in any way because of this pandemic, I hope you can learn to embrace change. And always remember that it is okay to not be okay. I want to leave you with a quote from the Rig Veda, Book 1, Chapter 105, Verse 2. One surely and inevitably gains that which one truly and righteously desires, if one works honestly and patiently. With that, I want to thank you for tuning into the session. Please feel free to reach out to Arya Samaj by contacting our offices on 031 267 0519 or email us at admin@aryasamajsa.org for any assistance that you may need. Shubh Diwali.
Thank you, Mikara and Shiksha, for enlightening us on how we can move forward with our families.
Now, I think it is time for us to listen to something melodious. And for that, we have Ms. Saras Naidu, who is the Arya Samaj Admin Officer.
अयोध्यवासी राम दशरथ नंदन राम जानकी जीवन राम जय राम राम रामा अयोध्यवासी राम दशरथ नंदन राम
I now have the honor in introducing Puja Swami Loka Sangrahananda, Sannyasi of the Sannyasa Spiritual Council of South Africa, who will enlighten us with the expression of compassion.
What is compassion? Compassion is identifying with the suffering of others. When you identify with the suffering of others, it kindles a desire in you to start serving. And the beauty of compassion is that when you have this intense desire to serve, then compassion manifests itself in a big way. When you have compassion, according to great philosophers and research, there are 40,000 neurons in the heart which sends impulses to the neocortex of your brain. When that happens, all your divine qualities manifest, providing of water, providing of food, providing of shelter, and thereafter manifests and grows and grows and grows. As a result, the whole of humanity benefits. It has a ripple effect. So therefore, compassion is the mother of all divine qualities. And if we can make a conscious effort to practice compassion, love and service, we can live up to the prestige and dignity of a human being.
Thank you, Swamiji, for your expression of compassion. And thank you, Masaras Naidu, for your melodious and beautiful bhajan.
Vidwan Niveshan Munsami will now perform a unique classical dance called Kuchipudi.
Shiva Shiva Bhava Bhava Sharanam 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 Mama Bhavatu Sada Tava Smaranam Smaranam Shiva Shiva Bhava Bhava Sharanam Shiva Shiva Bhava Bhava Sharanam Mama Bhavatu Sada Tava Smaranam Smaranam Shiva Shiva Bhava Bhava Sharanam Shiva Shiva Bhava Bhava Sharanam Mama Bhavatu Sada Tava Smaranam Smaranam Shiva Shiva Bhava Bhava Sharanam Shiva Shiva Bhava Bhava Sharanam Mama Bhavatu Sada Tava Smaranam Smaranam Shiva Shiva Bhava Bhava Sharanam Shiva Shiva Bhava Bhava Sharanam Mama Bhavatu Sada Tava Smaranam Smaranam
Tari tajam tata tari tajanu tata tadi dana tati genna tanta tari tajam tata tari tajanu tata tadi dana dingena tantari tajam jam jam tata rita tari tajam jam tata tari tajam tata tari tajam tatari tajam tatari tajam tajam danam gadim takadiku tadingenatum tajam danam takatadigenatum takatadingenatum tajam tadigenatum tadingenatum tadingenatum tajam tadingenatum 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 tajam kedataga darigedatum kedataga darigedatum kedataga darigedatum
Gangadhara Chandrachudha
Darigadadim tattadim tattata Darigadaga jadataga darigadaga darigadadim tattadim tattatai Darigadaga jadataga darigadaga darigadadim Darigadaga 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 darigadaga
गंगाधर चंद्रचूड जगन् मंगल सर्वलोक कैलास जलवास पुरहर तरहास कैलास जलवास पुरहर तरहास कैलास जलवास शिवकर पुरहर तरहास कैलास जलवास शिवकर पुरहर तरहास आनंद नटन विनोद आनंद विललित खेला शिवनारायण तीर्थ देव शिव शिव भव भव शरणं भवतु सदा तव स्मरणं स्मरणम्
I now have the honor in introducing Pujya Swami Guru Bhaktananda, Sannyasi of the Sannyasa Spiritual Council of South Africa, who will enlighten us with the expression of hope.
Namaste. Expressions of hope. Lighting the lamp represents the kindling of hope. The clay or brass lamp is our clean, safe and healthy environment. We pour into it some oil of encouragement. We place into it a wick of discipline, order and regularity so that burning is controlled. We now light this lamp and feel its warmth and radiance. See how selflessly it gives its light. That is the hope burning in our heart. If it starts flickering, just keep adding a little more encouragement. A strong lamp can be used to light other lamps, and so the light of hope spreads from within the family to the world outside.
Thank you, Pujya Swamiji, for your expression of hope. And thank you, Niveshan, for that amazing dance.
The Arya Samaj South Africa is well known for its training course on Vedic education. The School of Vedic Studies provides a platform for one to empower themselves on understanding the essence of Vedas through the 16 sanskaras that are performed in all Hindu homes. The School of Vedic Studies gives one the opportunity to become a qualified priest and thereby is able to go into the community as an ambassador of Hindu Dharma.
I now have the honor in introducing Puja Swami Maitri, Sannyasi of the Sannyasa Spiritual Council of South Africa, who will enlighten us with the expressions of faith.
Rig Veda, Book 2, Chapter 27, Mantra 11 says, "Firm faith in the divine is the only ray of hope that penetrates this gloom of fear and ignorance. Life was never meant to be easy. The older we get, the harder life gets. Nobody has life figured out completely, and nobody gets through life easily. We all have struggles. We may not have the same struggles, but we all have our own things to get through. We deal with sicknesses, loss of loved ones, financial problems, and so many other things, and it is never easy. In every life situation, good or bad, we have to learn to trust and to have faith in God. Have faith and you will see your life may change in a way that you never expected."
Swamiji, you have just rekindled our faith.
The Aryan Benevolent Home was founded by the Arya Samaj in 1921. With that in mind, the children of the Aryan Benevolent Home enthrall us with a traditional lamp dance.
This rendition is in honor of the extraordinary work that is done at the Aryan Benevolent Home, an institution that selflessly embodies the principles of caring, sharing, and serving. For every orphan, a brighter future. For every aged person, light in their twilight years. For every victim of abuse, another opportunity. This video brings you the joy, love, and color that the home exudes. This is the essence of DEEPAVALI.
राम सियापति राम तुम्हारा नाम सुखों का धाम हो जय जय राम राजा राम। राम सियापति राम तुम्हारा नाम सुखों का धाम हो जय जय राम राजा राम। जय राम जय बोलो जय सीता राम बोलो जय राम। जय राम जय बोलो जय सीता राम बोलो जय राम।
राम सियापति राम तुम्हारा नाम सुखों का धाम हो जय जय राम राजा राम।
राम सियापति राम तुम्हारा नाम सुखों का धाम हो जय जय राम राजा राम।
जय राम जय बोलो जय सीता राम बोलो जय राम।
जय राम जय बोलो जय सीता राम बोलो जय राम। जाकी रही भावना जैसी हो जाकी रही भावना जैसी प्रभु मूरत देखी तिन तैसी मैं तो जपूं अविराम तुम्हारा नाम सुखों का धाम हो जय जय राम राजा राम। राम सिया सियापति राम तुम्हारा नाम सुखों का धाम हो जय जय राम राजा राम।
जय राम जय बोलो जय सीताराम बोलो जय राम।
जय राम जय बोलो जय सीताराम बोलो जय राम।
संकट में तू साथ रहे तो, ओ संकट में तू साथ रहे तो, सर पर तेरा हाथ रहे तो, सब कुछ है आसान तुम्हारा नाम सुखों का धाम हो जय जय राम राजा राम।
राम सियापति राम तुम्हारा नाम सुखों का धाम हो जय जय राम राजा राम।
जय राम जय बोलो जय सीताराम बोलो जय राम।
जय राम जय बोलो जय सीताराम बोलो जय राम।
Wow, that was absolutely superb. Thank you to the children of Aryan Benevolent Home and to all who have assisted. I now have the honor to introduce Pujya Swami Abhedananda, Sannyasi of the Sannyasa Spiritual Council of South Africa, who will enlighten us with the expression of happiness.
Where we light the lamp of knowledge, and each thought should become a lamp. Where we have the sweets of Lord's names and His love, and where we burst the crackers of our negativities. So we can say our calm is gone, clothes is gone, anger is gone. Then these three things make a perfect Diwali. And this is possible only when Ram comes in our life, Bhagwan Ram along with Sita ji and Lakshmana ji. Knowledge along with dispassion and devotion comes, and that is called the Saints Diwali. You know one thing, Saints Diwali is not day bound, not time bound. Whole day and night they are ever in the glee, in the light, in the knowledge, in the realization, in the purity, in devotion, in completeness, in surrender, in bhakti, in dispassion, and this is the completeness of the Diwali. Let us not make it only a social event or a ritual, rather make it a realization. That is a true Diwali. I wish all of you a very happy Diwali, but happiness will come only with knowledge, and nothing else can give us happiness. And knowledge can come only with Guru and scriptures, and Guru and scriptures can come only when we do good actions. Connect everything together, and love to you all, and please celebrate Diwali by lighting the lamps of your beautiful thoughts inside, and let everybody be bathed in your love. Bring everybody together with your love.
Thank you, Swamiji, for teaching us the value of happiness. Now, let's take a look at some of the work which the Arya Samaj is actively involved in.
Was that not beautiful? For every beginning, sadly, in this world of reality, there also has to be an end. As we come to the end of this amazing and exciting time of celebration, we ask Pandit Pratna Dudraj, member of the Vedic Purohit Mandal and PRO of Heal Foundation, to acknowledge and pay tribute to all those who have made today's celebration a huge success.
Ladies and gentlemen, my Prem Namaste to you all. The Sabha is deeply indebted to the following individuals and organizations for their support and assistance received in making today's function successful. Firstly, we would like to thank today's priests, Pandits Aarti Shannan and Leela Benimado, for conducting the Deepavali Havan in such a dignified manner, and to our youth for being our Yajmans for this evening. Our sincere thanks to our speakers, Shruti Daulat, Shiksha Benimado, and Mikhara Maharaj for their guidance and thought-provoking messages. We thank the following artists for their outstanding performances. Vidwan Niveshan Munsami for the dynamic dances. Dr. Veena Lachman, accompanied by Shri Rajesh Lachman on the tabla for the melodious bhajan. Srimati Saras Naidu, accompanied by Shri Divyog Panchu on the tabla for a soul-stirring bhajan. The children of Aryan Benevolent Home for their vibrant lamp dance. To our ever-selfless and ever-loving team from African Lotus Productions, Shri Sudha Singh, Shri Sizwe Ji and Tiara Ji for videoing our ABH performance. Shri Rajiv Mohan of House of Audio for being kind in always coming to our rescues, recording the beautiful bhajan by Saras Naidu. To our revered sannyasis of the Sannyas Spiritual Council of South Africa for their inspiring expressions of our core dharmic values. To Shri Divesh Kasiram for the warm and cordial welcome. To our dynamic duo, Sarisha and Nirvikar Bandhu, for guiding us tonight and for carrying the success of this evening's program of Diwali 2021. Thank you for joining us this evening, and may you have a blessed, safe and peaceful Diwali.
We now close our eyes to be taken into the vibration of the Aarti and Shanti path. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to all our social media platforms.
May the light of this Diwali illuminate the hearts and souls of every living entity in this vast and dynamic universe. Today, we say thank you to our Paramatma for leading us into new beginnings. Our prayer is
Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Shubh Diwali.
स्वामी जय जगदीश हरे भाग्य जनों के संकट भाग्य जनों के संकट क्षण में दूर करे ओम जय जगदीश हरे
यो शान्तिरन्तरिक्षं शान्ति पृथिवी शान्तराप शान्तिरोषधयः शान्ति वनस्पतयः शान्तिर्विश्वे देवा शान्तिर्ब्रह्म शान्ति सर्वं शान्तिः शान्तिरेव शान्ति सामा शान्तिरेधि ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः